I'm Tony Grace. It's great to have you with us here on CTV News Channel on this Sunday, July the 30th. Well, we're following the latest today on several labor disputes right across the country. First, we're going to take you live to Toronto. Thousands of Metro grocery store workers across the Toronto area off the job for a second day. The Employees Union provided a statement last hour, and it reads, in part, frontline grocery workers need Metro to come back to the table with an improved wage offer so they can get back to work doing what they love, supporting their communities. Members simply cannot accept an agreement that leaves them scrambling to make ends meet. And that strike has led to the closure of 27 of those grocery stores in the Toronto area. Let's go to CP24's Andrew Brennan, who's been on this story with the latest from the picket lines today. Andrew.
Well, the latest I'm hearing is not just from workers. I've been checking this morning both with the Metro side of things and also from the Unifor union side of things, asking where things are at the bargaining table, because really we have no indication when this strike could be ending, and having these 27 stores in and around the GTA get open. Now, what I've been told from Metro is they don't have a particular update from the bargaining table, not commenting right now. Unifor isn't saying that there's been any movement. They're just trying to get a message out about anyone looking to support, doing what you kind of heard in the background right there, honking to those on the picket line, showing their support, calling Metro stores if they want to really give them a piece of their mind. But right now, the best that I can say is that as much as it's still morning on Sunday, beautiful day, it's a very different day than we got yesterday. Yesterday there was the national president for Unifor that came to one of the locations. Now it's up to the rank and file to be keeping the chanting going, keeping the movement going, because they have demands that they think that are not going to be met unless they fight for them.
Andrew Brennan in Toronto. Thanks, Andrew. Meanwhile, in Manitoba, people are looking to pick up some alcohol this weekend, perhaps. Well, if that's the case, they may be out of luck because workers there also walking off the job.
I figured, okay, it's just a short walk, so I'll just take my chances. And I come here and it's closed.
Liquor Mart employees in Manitoba have been picketing since Wednesday, calling for their wages to keep up with inflation. As workers continue to strike, the province has started using replacement workers at its distribution center. Only a handful of liquor marts are open this weekend, and they're operating on reduced hours. And the turmoil continues over BC's port workers' strike. Labour Minister Seamus O'Regan is stepping in.
That just essentially kicks the can down the road, and also just so we would just see these problems resurfacing later on, and perhaps in even worse conditions.
The BC Port Workers Union rejected the latest contract offer for the second time, pushing the Labour Minister to threaten the possibility of an imposed agreement. The minister has directed the Canada Industrial Relations Board to determine whether negotiations are still possible. If not, Ottawa could impose a final binding agreement to end that strike. Let's get into this a little more now with Mark Thompson, Professor Emeritus at UBC's Sauder School of Business. Mark, good to have you with us. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
Well, what does it say to you now that we're at the point where the Labour Minister, is stepping in and we're talking about the possibility of an imposed contract here?
Yes, the pressure from the government is increasing. We don't know yet exactly what the members found objectionable in the settlement that was put to them last week, but I suspect that it comes down to contracting out and job security. Those are very important issues to the members, and the deal that was rejected, that's shown on your screen, didn't address that in any meaningful way. So it's quite different than the other disputes that you're talking about in other regions. So the Canada Industrial Relations Board will take a look at the settlement. That's a little bit out of their normal function, which is more of adjudication. And if they decide that that package is beyond redemption, then they're going to recommend it goes to arbitration. So Parliament doesn't have to act, and that's, in the eyes of the minister at least, preferable to to letting the strike continue. This union places a very high premium on job security, and it's partly because they use a hiring hall dispatch system. So if jobs are lost, it's not just individual, but it's for all time. And the mediator really didn't address that very well. And the first rejection mentioned that, and I can only assume that the members have spoken on that point.
And Mark, as you mentioned, that is such a different issue than, for example, a percentage of wage increase that might mean something or be relatable to everyone who's paying attention to this story across the country. So does the very fact that it's coming down to, as you may suspect, job security, does that change public opinion at all?
Well, public opinion does normally favor strikers, particularly one like this where many people are affected, people who have nothing to do with a port or anything like that. And the employer, when asked about the settlement, talks about money. They don't talk about contracting out or job security. And so the union now says that they want to deal directly with employers. That's an interesting technique, but it's not up to the union to determine who represents management. And the employer association system in longshoring goes back decades. So the union would like to be able to pick employers off one at a time, and I think the employers are onto that. So anyhow, I think the union will have a chance to convince the Canada Industrial Relations Board that their concerns are not being addressed, and if that doesn't work, then they'll go to arbitration.
So Mark, I also wanted to just touch, I just have a second left here, but I wanted to touch on the fact that, of course, the BC port workers dispute is not the only one we're looking at. You were hearing us covering a supermarket strike here in southwestern Ontario, the liquor store employees in Manitoba. It seems like there are a lot of labor disputes this year that are getting to the point of picket lines.
Yes, I think you're right. And it's a rule of thumb in Canadian industrial relations that inflation is very disruptive. Mm-hmm. And that's been proven out in the disputes that are going on now. Workers had signed contracts in the past where inflation was quite low. Then they saw the value of their salaries declining when inflation picked up in 2022 and earlier this year. And now they want some relief. And the employer says, well, gee, inflation is going down. I don't want to sign a collective agreement with a big fat wage increase that may look too generous in the future. So each of them has some justice in what they're saying.
And it's a very interesting...
it's hard for the parties to reconcile those differences.
Yeah, I was just going to say it's a very interesting time window that we're in right now, too, as inflation does start to come down and we see these disputes continue. All right, we will keep an eye on all of those, but in the meantime, Mark Thompson, Professor Emeritus at UBC's Sauder School of Business, appreciate your perspective. Thanks for joining us today.
You're very welcome. Have a good day.
You as well.